What's going on YouTube? Nerdy Jersey here, coming at you with a deck profile from YCS Milan.
Yep.
We're here with Joshua Schmidt. What
Yep.
did you play?
I played Danger FTK without Firewall. I got top 16. I lost to Sky Striker, and yeah, it's like the deck's still broken. I only won 3 dice rolls in Swiss, and it's still really good going second. Just because if you have 6 cards in hand with Dangers, it's just naturally good. And it's also just naturally good against Sky Strike, which is just summon a bunch of big monsters and they just can't deal with it. And then once you give them like Grinder Golem, they can't even anchor anything anymore, and just it was very good for this event because no one was playing Droll anymore or Cherries or on anything that you played in the extra deck. So yeah, basically. So I'll show you the deck and then show you how it works. So it's the same danger ratio as in London. You play 3 Darkman, 3 Nessie, 3 Chupa, 3 Jackalope, 3 Snakes, and then 1 Bigfoot and 1 Thunderbird. 3 Growl. No more Snow because we're not playing Grapha anymore. This is not the Cannon Soldier loop, so this one's good. You can discard it. Snow is not so good because first of all, you still have to have targets in your deck, and you draw your entire deck. So sometimes you just draw your Brows before you draw your Snows. And then you have to hit this with a danger, and then you search, and you have to hit the Snow with a danger, and then you search another card that you have to hit with a danger. So it's a lot of RNG with the Snow. 1 Beast because it's just like another Brow, and you can Curious it, which is really nice, and 1 Zephyros and 1 Steam. These just help make Saruja. Like this one bounces dangers back to your hand. This one just like is very nice to summon off of Saruja. You can also bounce it with this, and you still get a token. And the token effect's not once per turn, so you can like get a couple of monsters out of it, make more Sarujas, and it's a dark. Then Frankenderp, it's just a very good dark summon. Like when it's summoned, you pay 500 and you look at the top card of your deck, and then you can add it to your hand, but you skip your next draw phase, but there's no next draw phase, so it's really good. We play Teleport for it, but it's also really good if you Soul Charge it or if you summon it with Saruja. So. And then 1 Grinder Golem. So the deck FTKs with Slash Draw. And so the card that you give to your opponent, because he has to have a card for this to work, is Grinder Golem. So you never normal summon, and then you give them Grinder Golem, and then you have to like use Saruja like 2 or 3 times. Most of the time 3 times, sometimes 4. I've bounced it back to the extra deck and made it again before, but like, and then you draw your entire deck, and then you put the Slash Draw, so it's the second next card, and then you activate Slash Draw. Mill 1 because your opponent has the Grinder Golem, then the next one is Slash Draw, and that's if there's 4 cards on the board, that's game. So that's what you do when you go first. And you still play 3 Beginning of the End, 3 Allure, Soul Charge, Card Destruction, and the Teleport for the Frankenderp. So it's clean 40 cards, and it's still really, really good. Like I've FTK'd people through like Ash and Impermanence. That was like game 1 of top 16. I FTK'd him through Ash and Impermanence. So it's pretty good. So the most important card in the extra deck is triple Saruja. You definitely need 3. Like I said, I've even made more sometimes by just bouncing it back with like Akashic or something. But basically, you have a lot of spam on the board, and this just helps you refresh your hand, draw your Beginning of the End. And then at the end of the game, when you have like very low cards left, you just make the last one, put your Slash Draw so you know where it is, and then that's just game. Curious is still good. You can send like the Steam, the Zephyros, or the Beast, and it's nice. Just like, it helps you convert your monsters on the board that you summon dangers, and sometimes not every danger replaces itself in hand. Like Nessie replaces itself in hand, but the others don't, so you get lower on cards in hand, so you summon this to send Beast to get higher on cards again. Summon Sorceress, this is not very important. It's actually very hard to make because I'm not using Reprodocus. But the reason why this is important is if you, like the only way you can give your opponent a monster in this deck is Grinder Golem. So if you like have a situation where you break and you have to normal summon, or if you mill this with Curious because you cannot control what you mill with Curious, you don't have a way to give your opponent a monster, so at that point you need Summon Sorceress. So, like I've used 3 Sarujas to make Summon Sorceress just to give them a monster. And then there's Griffin and Unicorn. These are really important. I play 3 Slash Draw. The reason why I play 3 is because when I open this card, I don't want to set it. Because if I set it, I only have 4 in hand, and it makes my chances on the dangers worse. So I'm playing 3 so I can discard 1. But if that happens, I have to be careful with the other 2, because if I use Curious, for example, and I mill 1, I need to be able to get it back. So I will Griffin it, and then I will make Unicorn to shuffle it back into the deck and draw a card. And it sounds hard, but it's actually not very hard. I've done it a couple times where you just do that, and it works. So yeah. So that's why it's not very risky to summon Curious. Otherwise, it could be very risky, because yeah. So, and then the Phoenix, just because it's generally good. Akashic is like super good in this deck with Grinder Golem, but also like I've done this, and then you get to call a card, and then you get to look at the next 4 cards, and if it's there, you get it. And since you play a lot of 3-offs and you draw a lot of your deck, you can just call a card that you have like 3 left in your deck, and you have a very high chance of getting it. Like at this tournament, I got like a beginning of the end with it, just because I had like 24 cards left in the deck, 3 beginnings. So I just called beginning and I got it. So it's like, it's really good. Space Installator, just because it's a dark that you can make very flexible. Link Karibo to make with the Grinder Golem tokens. Link Spider to make with the Grinder Golem tokens or with the Tomahawk tokens. And then just the Azathoth package. You don't play Armageddon, but you still have level 4s like Zephyros, Mothman, and Chupacabra. So you can just, if you get the right danger reveals, you can just make it before they can even Ash. Or sometimes in the end you can be safe from like a Bell on your Soul Charge or Gamma or whatever. Like if they also like with card destruction is very important. Like if you play against BA, you have to make it to avoid like hitting far and stuff like that. So the side is 3 Pancratops. I think this card is like, this was probably my favorite side deck card, because you just side it against almost every matchup going second, and it's a nice beat stick. Also this deck, it's not like the Firewall FTK where it's very fast sometimes, where sometimes you just have it after 20 cards. This one basically always has to go all the way to the entire deck being drawn, so it takes very long. So game 3 in some matchups, I could just put these in and go second when we're close to time, to just put a bunch of dudes on the board and attack for damage. I played 3 Ash because I think it's the most versatile hand trap. And I thought that people, when we played the Mirror, for example, I don't think you have to make Azathoth, because most people just play Cherries or Gamma or Impermanence, where you don't really need Azathoth for these. So I put, or Droll. So I put Ash in, and I was hoping that if I was playing a Mirror, I could put Ash in, and they wouldn't make Azathoth, so you can just Ash the slash draw, and that's just game. And then I played 3 Reapers for the Mirror, because you can just hit Saryuja and it's game. Or I also sided in Isolt for all the Warrior decks. So I have like 6 hand traps for the Mirror, but also 6 hand traps that are also good against like Rongo. That's why I didn't want to play Drawn Lockbird, because it's not good against anything other than the Mirror. That's why I played T6. And this also came in handy against like Trickstar. I was able to dodge Reincarnation with this, which was cool. I played 2 Radiant for Sky Striker. It's 2 because you can draw a lot of cards, so you will most likely see it. And if you draw the second one, you can just summon it to your side. It's also a lower target, so it's okay. 1 Sphere Mode is for Thunder Dragon. The reason why it's only 1 is because it's not really necessary. You don't really care about Colossus and Titan, but it's still cool if you get it. And so yeah, you can just start drawing cards, and you're not normal summoning anyways because of Grinder Golem. So like if you don't draw Grinder Golem but you draw this, you can distribute all 3 and you just win on resources most of the time. And then I played 1 Twin Twister because I had 14 cards, and I was like, what am I gonna put? I put this, and I played 1 just in case someone had Cherries on Saryuja, so I could just draw my entire deck, and this would be somewhere in my deck, so I could just make it and get back all 3 Saryujas. And if they don't have Cherries, you can still use it after the beginning or the end. You can still get some stuff back into the extra deck. You can banish like Link Karibo, Space Installator, Akashic for beginning of the end, and you can bounce all 3 back into your extra deck to have more utility with your items.
All right, cool. Any last comments or shout-outs?
Shout-outs to the team, shout-outs to Erkin, shout-outs to my girlfriend at home, shout-outs to Bowden for helping me out with the deck. He was the one who told me, like I talked to him about Danger in general, but I was not sure what to make with it. Like I was sure you could still draw your entire deck, but I was like, I don't know what to do with that. And then Bowden was like, hey, there's this combo where you summon Aurea to arrange the top 8 of your deck, and then you just slash draw. So that's where the idea is from. I ended up cutting Aurea. I don't think it's necessary. We can consistently do it with Saryuja anyways. But yeah, Bowden helped me out with the deck, and then Furman told me about the Frankenderp, which was a nice addition on a Friday. So yeah, that's
All
that's
right,
it.
cool. Thank you and congratulations again.
Thank you.